Oh, honey, buckle up because this one's juicy. We're talking high fashion, high stakes, and one royal turned Hollywood darling who just got blocked. And I don't mean unfollowed. Meghan Markle has been shut out, iced, ghosted, and locked out of one of the most elite circles in fashion. And the culprit? Balenciaga. Yes, that Balenciaga, the brand that practically invented modern shock value couture. Now, before you say, okay, maybe this is exaggerated, let me paint the picture for you. Paris, Fashion Week, lights flashing, cameras everywhere, and the front row glittering with the kind of people who can shut down an entire avenue just by showing up. It's the holy land of luxury, where a raised eyebrow from the wrong person can end a career. And then, enter Meghan Markle. She struts in, head held high, confidence dripping off her like perfume, wearing a look that makes every head in the room snap her way. But there's just one problem. That look? It wasn't just inspired by Balenciaga's latest collection. It was Balenciaga's latest collection, just not from Balenciaga. Same silhouette, same tone, same attitude. Only difference? It didn't come from the house that created it. And in the cutthroat world of couture, imitation isn't flattery. It's an act of war. Balenciaga, darling, doesn't do copies. They're not Zara. They're not Shane. They're the masterminds behind entire movements in fashion. They shape narratives. So when Meghan copied their narrative without permission, she broke the most sacred, unspoken rule in the book. And just like that, boom, the doors slammed shut. The fallout was instant. Before the show even ended, the whispers started rippling through Paris like perfume smoke. Fashion insiders, stylists, editors, PR execs were all murmuring the same thing. Did she really just do that? At first, people tried to laugh it off. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe her stylist was inspired. But no, insiders said the resemblance was too close. It wasn't homage, it was duplication. And in the fashion world, trust is everything. You see, when celebrities are invited into the private world of high-end couture, they're not just picking out clothes, they're being allowed into a creative vault. They see unreleased designs, confidential sketches, entire mood boards. That's sacred ground. So when someone takes that access and turns it into a look that mirrors a brand's DNA without permission, that's betrayal. And betrayal, my dear, comes with consequences. Pretty soon, Meghan's name was being quietly erased. Her team's calls? Unanswered. Her invites? Lost. Stylists she once worked with started backing away, claiming they were fully booked. You know what that means in fashion speak? She's on the blacklist. It's not official, it's not public, but when it happens, you feel it. No front row seats, no backstage fittings, no pre-show access. You go from it girl to invisible overnight. Here's the thing. Meghan's history with high fashion has always been a little rocky. Every time she tries to have a moment, it backfires. Either it feels too forced or it stirs up the wrong kind of drama. But this time, she didn't just stir the pot. She spilled it across the entire runway. Apparently, she'd been trying to rebuild connections, reaching out through PR friends, stylists, and creative consultants. But once Balenciaga caught wind of how closely her outfit mirrored their latest designs, those doors slammed shut, completely. What followed was the kind of silent treatment that only the fashion world can deliver. And trust me, silence here speaks louder than a press release. Soon, rumors started to twist into something darker. Whispers that Meghan's team might have been using inspiration from private showings to recreate looks with independent designers. Basically, she'd been accused of turning inspiration into imitation. And that's one sin no luxury house forgives. Whether it's true or not doesn't even matter. In this world, perception is reality. Balenciaga wasn't going to take the risk. They slammed the door, locked it, and tossed the key straight into the Seine. And here's where things went nuclear. When a brand as powerful as Balenciaga draws a line in the sand, everyone notices. Dior, Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, they all start watching. Because fashion is a chain reaction. One snub from a top-tier house can trigger a full-on blackout. And it did. Suddenly, Meghan wasn't getting any calls back. PR agencies started distancing themselves. Even event photographers stopped framing her the same way. Literally. She went from centerpiece to cropped out. It's brutal, but that's the fashion food chain. You go from muse to liability in a heartbeat. The quiet exile was underway. No brand wanted to risk being the next one caught up in a controversy involving her. And for Balenciaga, this was a power move. They're still recovering from their own PR disasters, so the last thing they needed was another scandal tied to their name. When Meghan's outfit went viral for looking like theirs, it wasn't just annoying, it was threatening. Because in their eyes, Meghan didn't just copy a dress, she hijacked a brand identity, and then came the photos. Her laughing, smirking, carefree pose at the event, even while a model tripped on the runway, became meme material. To fashion insiders, it looked tone-deaf, like she didn't understand the unspoken etiquette of the scene. It was like crashing a royal dinner party, then insulting consulting the host. From that point on, the whispers turned into strategies. Her name was flagged on pre-show access lists. PR firms quietly added clauses to keep unreleased designs far, far away from her. Translation: keep Meghan Markle out. So picture this. Meghan's team is in full damage control mode. They're firing off emails, making calls, spinning words like inspired by, homage, and reimagined. But in the language of luxury fashion, that's like trying to put out a wildfire with a perfume spritz. Balenciaga doesn't do drama, they do silence. And in fashion, silence is more lethal than a public statement. No announcement, no quotes, they just stop. Her name quietly vanished from the pre-show coordination emails, her seat assignments disappeared, and suddenly, the glossy invitations that used to flood her PR inbox just stopped coming. One insider whispered, "It's like she never existed." And that's how fashion punishes you. Not with noise, with absence. The ripple effect. When Balenciaga makes a move like that, every other fashion house listens. Dior, watching closely. Givenchy, already reassessing their access lists. Louis Vuitton, calling their PR leads asking, "Is Meghan attending any of our events?" Because here's the thing, fashion isn't just about fabric, it's about control. Luxury brands build their power on exclusivity, on being untouchable. And if someone like Meghan threatens that, by copying, by overstepping, by breaking the invisible code, they close ranks faster than a runway zipper. And now, one by one, those doors she'd once knocked on were quietly locking. Even stylists who once gushed about her modern royal elegance started backing off. One reportedly said, "She asks for exclusivity before she's earned it." Ouch. That's fashion world code for she wants the perks without paying the dues. And that, right there, is the cardinal sin of couture. The growing suspicion. The scariest part for Meghan? It's not even about one dress anymore. It's about trust. Rumors began bubbling that her team might have been reverse engineering luxury looks behind the scenes. That she'd seen unreleased collections, taken inspiration, and then had local designers recreate them for her. Now, whether that's true or not, almost doesn't matter. Because in fashion, even the hint of that kind of behavior is enough to kill a reputation. You see, these elite design houses treat their ateliers like temples. The sketches, the fabrics, the fittings, they're sacred. So if someone blurs that line between admiration and appropriation, it's game over. Word was spreading that Meghan's team had been borrowing inspiration from private collections, the kind of designs no one outside the atelier is supposed to see. Whispers claimed that she'd been using her inside access to create lookalikes, outfits made by independent designers but modeled after unreleased luxury pieces. And the second that rumor hit the air, her fate was sealed. Because in fashion, stealing inspiration is worse than stealing credit. It's stealing identity. One creative director said it bluntly. She's not wearing fashion. She's copying fashion to them. That's unforgivable. It's not just about the dress. It's about the story, the art, the soul behind it. And Meghan's move, intentional or not, told the world she didn't respect that. Balenciaga didn't need to drag her online. They didn't need to clap back. Their silence said it all. And now other houses were following suit. The PR panic behind closed doors. Meghan's team scrambled. They tried everything, releasing subtle press blurbs filled with words like forward thinking, independent, inspired by the future. But instead of helping, it just made things worse. It sounded defensive, hollow, manufactured. The industry wasn't buying it anymore. They weren't looking at what she wore. They were questioning why she wore it. Was it admiration? A power move? Or, as some whispered, a calculated effort to bait the fashion world into rejecting her so she could launch her own anti-establishment label? If that was her strategy, it backfired spectacularly. Because instead of looking like a rebel, she started to look like a rule breaker, and not in the cool Chanel kind of way. She looked untrustworthy, and trust in fashion is everything. The cold shoulder grows colder. Fashion media began to shift too. Those glossy magazine columns that once praised her as a modern-day style icon, gone. Writers who had championed her post-royal evolution started treading carefully, avoiding words like icon and trailblazer, sticking to vague descriptions like influential public figure. Translation: she's not the story anymore. And if she is, it's not the kind of story you want to be. Even her old supporters started stepping back. One editor confessed off the record, "We love her, but we can't touch her right now." Because in fashion, proximity is power, and distance is protection. The more the whispers spread, the faster the distance grew. The unraveling of a fantasy. You know what's heartbreaking? Meghan had it all. The beauty, the posture, the poise, even the global platform. She could have been the perfect muse for any designer looking to blend royalty and modernity. But she misunderstood something fundamental. In fashion, you don't just wear the crown, you earn it. You don't take power. It's granted to you through trust, through grace, through quiet influence. Meghan tried to command it, and the fashion world said, "No, darling, that's not how this works." Now the same aura that once made her magnetic has turned into a liability. Her elegance feels manufactured. Her mystique feels forced. And in an industry that worships authenticity, that's the kiss of death.